Elon Musk tried 7 times to reach you. Open it immediately. Stop for a second. This might sound like just another message buried in your feed, another swipe, another headline, but it isn't. You might want to look away, but something is drawing your eyes back. There's a reason for that. 7 times, Elon Musk, yes, that Elon Musk, has tried to get through to you. You probably didn't know it then. You probably missed the signs, shrugged off the weird feeling, thought it was just luck or just noise. But now, there's no mistaking it. This moment isn't random. It's not recycled. This is different. Have you ever wondered why some messages feel like they're chasing you? The kind that blink at you from your phone when you're half asleep. The ones that seem to show up everywhere you turn. Maybe you started to think the universe was trying to tell you something, or maybe you just thought it was a glitch in the algorithm. But what if every moment up till now, every, almost, every, maybe, every strange coincidence, was part of a bigger signal trying to break through the static of your life? Pause. Imagine this: Elon Musk, a man whose time is more valuable than gold, who lives on the edge of what humanity thinks is possible, made the decision, not once, not twice, but 7 separate times, to send a message meant just for you. And every single time, that message almost landed. Maybe you were busy. Maybe you didn't notice it. Maybe you told yourself, I'll get to that later. But later never came. The signal faded, the door closed, and you chalked it up as another missed opportunity, without even knowing there was one. But now, the message is here. It's flashing at you, relentless, refusing to blend into the background, demanding that you open it immediately. Because this is the last time it will try. Breathe for a moment. Think of all the times you sensed something was about to change. Not in big, earth-shaking moments, but in the quiet, whisper-quiet seconds when your mind tried to nudge you awake. Elon Musk is like that. Most people see the headlines, the memes, the viral clips, but they never sense the undercurrent of urgency in everything he does. Every launch, every wild risk, every tweet that sends the world spinning, underneath it all is a message: don't wait. Don't miss the window. Don't be ordinary. Why would any of this matter to you? Because the same world that tells you to wait, to prepare, to get approval, to be practical, is the world that misses out while the boldest souls answer the call that everybody else ignored. Every major leap forward, every rocket launched, every car designed, every wild idea, you can trace it back to a moment when someone, maybe just like you, was given the chance to answer before it made sense, and said yes. Elon isn't trying to overwhelm you with the impossible. He isn't sending you 7 messages because he needs you to change the world overnight. He's doing it because he knows that opportunity isn't always loud. In fact, the more important the chance, the quieter it usually is. 7 times you were tapped. 7 times you had no idea. But right now, you do. The message is in front of you, burning a hole in your routine, ready for you to stop making it wait. You might want to scroll. You might want to tell yourself, it's just hype, or I'll see what happens if I stick around another minute. That's what everyone else thinks too. That's why most people never see what's on the other side of the message. They go back to their lives, waiting for clarity or security or the perfect mood, never realizing that the very message they're ignoring is the thing that would have changed everything. Pause again. Let yourself feel the urgency, not as fear, but as possibility. Imagine for a moment that Elon Musk had a reason for choosing you, beyond numbers, beyond luck, beyond idle curiosity. Imagine that the key to everything you've been waiting for is hidden somewhere in the signal you almost missed, waiting for you to reach out, grab it with both hands, and open it right now. Most people move through their days in a haze, half dreaming, half doubting, holding their breath for something magical to break the pattern. But nothing changes until something changes. The signal only gets through to the ones who are awake enough to hear it, who are willing to stay with the discomfort of not knowing, who are brave enough to open the message before it disappears, for good. What's actually inside the seventh message? That's the real question, isn't it? Is it a secret? Is it something that will shake your world? Or is it simply the reminder, the final warning, that the door doesn't stay unlocked forever? That every breakthrough, every adventure, every reinvention starts the same way, with a single person who decides not to wait for proof. Take a breath, let your heart race a little. You're not here by accident. You're not stuck by coincidence. If you find yourself listening right now, if you feel that ache that maybe, finally, the moment has come for something bigger, don't let the pattern repeat. Break it. This is your sign, disguised as a story, hidden in plain sight. 7 times Musk tried, each time the signal got louder, the call got stronger, the window got narrower. This is the final transmission. Open it. Don't hesitate. There might never be another. The rest of life, all the routines and distractions, can wait. Your answer is the only thing that matters now. You're here. That's unusual. Most people would have tuned out by now, convinced there's nothing special about a message in a sea of content. But if you're still listening, it means something lands a little differently for you. Maybe you're more alert than you let on. Maybe underneath your doubts, there's a slice of your imagination that just won't let this go. Maybe, deep down, you want there to be more to this message than anyone else believes. Think about it. What if every missed message was actually a missed crossroad? What if, without realizing it, you've walked past life-changing doors because you were distracted by other people's noise, too busy or too careful to sense the invitation in those strange, electric, quickly fading moments? Here's the secret most don't learn until it's too late: signals keep trying until you finally pay attention, or until you stop listening, and the world moves on. That's why Elon Musk tried 7 times. Not because he was desperate, but because he understands most people will flinch before the finish line. Opportunity always arrives earlier than you're ready. The secret is, it never waits. Your comfort zone contracts, it's designed to, but destiny always expands when you open yourself, even for a second, to uncertainty. Let's lay it bare. Why would Musk, a serial disruptor, bother sending you any kind of message? It's not what you think. It isn't about business or investments or collecting fame. It's about pattern recognition. He's always been someone to spot what other people miss: a pattern in the noise, a chance in the mess, a future in the fog. If you're hearing this now, Musk's pattern detector saw something in you. A blip others would miss. Curiosity. Hunger. That flicker of impossibility mixed with what if, that only a rare few still carry after childhood. Stop scrolling through your life in autopilot. For once, just once, treat the message like it matters. If you stay present, you might sense the tension between the urge to get on with your day, and the deeper urge to change it, to make today mean something new. Why gamble your future on comfort when every epic leap, every time history moved, started with a single, almost always irrational decision to stop waiting? So, what is it you're waiting for? Permission? Inspiration? A sign that it's finally your turn? The world, the part still ruled by the doubters, will never give you those for free. You have to seize the signal before anyone else dares to. You have to make uncertainty your compass. Musk did that. All the ridicule, the public losses, the crashes, the nearly bankrupt launches, none of it was failure. It was data. Signals. Signs that he was the only one crazy enough to believe this moment could be his. Do you see it now? Everybody wants to catch a wave, but no one wants to paddle out before the storm breaks. What if every missed Musk message was the universe seeing if you'd show up when it's awkward, when it's uncomfortable, when it looks like nothing is happening? Life doesn't reward the cautious, it rewards the attuned. The ones who sense the seventh call and answer, even if their voice shakes. Pause right there. Lean into that suspense, that internal itch you can't ignore. That's your life daring you. Would you open the message if you knew there was no second window? If you trusted that whatever's inside could alter all the days after today? Or would you shrink from discomfort and tell yourself a story about next time, as if time ever repeats this way? Let's flip the script. Most people are terrified of missing out, but the real risk isn't missing other people's news, it's missing your own. The becoming, the inciting incident, the day you stopped outsourcing your agency and quit looking for a leader to force your hand. The seventh message is the last warning. The cycle breaks or nothing does. Remember, even Musk's heroes doubted him. They didn't see what he saw. But he kept reaching out, once, twice, 7 times if needed, until reality finally bent to the persistence of action. That's how revolutions happen. That's how dreams get traction. Right now, the message is still here. It hasn't closed yet. But it's not going to linger. You are staring at the crossroad for the last time in this shape. Nothing after this will feel the same. Tomorrow, this message will just be another story you almost heard, another whisper you almost caught. Or, if you decide, it'll be the moment you say, I opened it, I acted, and nothing's been the same since. Don't let your story be about almost. Don't let comfort win the 7th round. Open the message before your brain finds a distraction. Let uncertainty become your ritual. Demand more from life than another loop of safe, numb scrolling. This is your invitation, by name, by spirit, by every quiet part of you that's still listening. Elon Musk tried 7 times because he knew it would take that long for you to believe you mattered, that you could be the one person in a million still awake after the 6th call. Open it, before it misses you for good. Actions are proof. Now is your moment. You made it this far. That means the old static didn't win, not this time. You showed up, you stayed, when every well-worn instinct said, move on, skip, find something easier, safer, more familiar. There's power in that. Maybe more than you realize. Pause, breathe that in. Because most people spend their whole lives wondering if they ever missed their shot. They think fate is something that happens to them, never noticing that half the game is simply sticking around long enough to see the real opportunity reveal itself. Let's peel back another layer. Do you know what happens the 7th time you finally open a message you ignored 6 times before? The universe holds its breath. All the chances, all the little cracks in routine, all the micro-choices suddenly align and turn into a doorway only you can walk through. It's as if every previous attempt, every unexplained ache, every sleepless night was preparing you for this exact arrival. This is the truth Elon Musk is living proof of. Most people think their story will change with a miracle, but in reality, it only ever bends when they say, this is it. I'm all in. Even if I'm late, I'm here now. So what does that look like for you? Maybe you don't have rockets on standby or an army of engineers at your back. Maybe you have a list of failures longer than your list of wins. Good. That's exactly the kind of raw material all breakthroughs are made from. Forget the highlight reels. Forget what you think you lack. Musk's path has always been littered with failed launches, silent phones, dreams that didn't click until the noise went silent and the gut said, "Try again, risk looking foolish, open the message one last time." You're not being called to build Mars colonies. You're being nudged to do something infinitely harder, answer the call in your own life that you tried to ignore 6 times already. Be honest, what's the 7th thing you keep putting off? A job application? Telling someone how you really feel? Dusting off an idea everyone around you calls naive? You keep circling back to it, hoping the need will dissolve, but it won't. That's your version of Musk's message on repeat, refusing resignation, awakening you until you finally break the cycle. Truth: the world is changed by people who don't just get the signal, but keep answering until resistance finally breaks and something new comes through. 7 times might sound like persistence, but it's really about readiness. Every previous attempt was just a rehearsal, an invitation to look inward and ask, am I really willing to open this now, or am I still clinging to the comfort of waiting? Pause, let yourself feel the unease. That's your body getting ready for action. That's your mind realizing the stakes, the ones you keep trying to downplay. If you don't open the message this time, the pattern becomes your identity, someone who almost, who nearly, who always finds a way to delay until next time. But if you do, if you act, everything recalibrates. Action is what separates the almosts from the actuallys, the dreamers from the doers. Here's another piece no one wants to admit: all those times you felt left behind, like destiny tapped others on the shoulder and skipped you, they add up. But the final tap, the persistent 7th nudge, is never random. It's your last warning and your first real shot rolled into one. Feel the weight of that. That's what Musk's story embodies: relentless, unglamorous repetition until the future cracks open. Sometimes you don't get to know what's on the other side until you finally trust yourself enough to go look. Imagine, for a second, the version of yourself who always acts on the 7th signal. What would change? How much more would you accomplish if you stopped waiting for certainty? If you realized that opening the message isn't a risk, it's the only way through? All growth begins here, at the end of explanation and the start of action. So here, now, with the message still open, picture the most stubborn dream you have. The one that scares you, embarrasses you, feels several sizes too big for today's you. How many times have you set it aside? Maybe you named it 100 different things. Maybe you stopped counting. But it's always been the 7th call that finally gets through. Real change is always inconvenient. It always collides with the wrong time. That's how you know it's real. Let this be the moment where you draw a line. No more waiting for easy. No more telling yourself the door will open again next week, next quarter, next year. The purpose of all those previous messages was to train you for this exact leap. To teach you it's not about readiness, it's about resilience, about daring to move regardless. You're living proof that the signal survives the noise. You're still here, and that's rare. That's different. That's a win already. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you make this the day the cycle breaks, or will you walk past again and silently hope for an 8th try that may never come? 7 is more than a number, it's your invitation. It's the universe betting that you, out of billions, would finally open it. Not because somebody told you. Not because the world expects it. But because something real inside you refuses to be left out any longer. Pause. This could be it. Don't look away. This is it. The last window, the final knock. Everything that came before, every brush with inspiration, every ignored sign, every failed attempt, leads to this narrow, brilliant edge. Will you cross it, or will history say you hovered at the door but never walked through? Think of where you are right now. Not just physically, but emotionally, a little restless, a fraction uncertain, quietly daring to imagine what life could look like if you broke your old habits. That's not weakness, that's awareness sharpening into courage. Every person who ever tried to outrun ordinary has sat where you're sitting, facing down their own reasons to wait. The difference is, they didn't. Breathe. Let the urgency settle and become focus. Remember, Musk didn't start with more answers, he started with more questions. He lived 7 defeats before every breakout moment. His secret wasn't luck, but the willingness to be seen failing. He sent the email, made the pitch, risked the money, lived the embarrassment. Every no, every ignored message, every eyebrow raised was fuel. And on the 7th attempt, everything changed, because he changed. So what's stopping you now? What false story still clings to you? That you aren't ready? That someone like you should wait politely for permission instead of making noise? If Musk had believed those, there would be no Falcon Heavy, no supercharger stations, no Mars mission. The world would look smaller, grayer, safer, and so would your life if you listened to that voice a minute longer. The message doesn't care how you look or what you own, it cares that you move. Right now, at the edge of the 7th warning, sense how your heart beats differently. The decision isn't dramatic. It's quiet, but it will echo. Do you answer, or do you drift back, wearing the old story like armor? You can pretend you never saw this, never heard the hint, never felt the crossroad heartbeat in your chest. People do it every day, numbing out with news, hiding behind status updates, convincing themselves that tomorrow will be easier than now. But it won't. Pause. This is the flinch moment, the one where everyone chooses against themselves, and regret becomes routine. But you, something's different in you. You kept coming back. You listen deeper. Maybe you have nothing to prove to anyone. Maybe the stakes are invisible but real. Maybe it just hurts too much to live as an almost. Let that pain move you. Open the message. Don't just skim for buzzwords and walk away unchanged. Open it in the only way that matters, with action. Maybe it's a single word sent that you kept drafting and deleting. Maybe it's a project that scares you enough to make your hands sweat. Maybe it's a promise to speak up, to show up, to try again even after 6 failures. Whatever your 7th message is, answer it fully. That's how patterns break and stories begin. Musk isn't calling you to be him. He's showing you that greatness isn't about scale, it's about the willingness to keep getting up, keep reaching out, keep showing up when everyone else has accepted, close enough. He tried 7 times because the reality of a closed door never stopped him, he watched for the next crack of light. And when it came, he didn't back away. Will the world notice today? Maybe not. But you'll notice. You'll feel the difference, the flicker of aliveness only possible when you decide that your own moment is worth the discomfort. Futurity starts with one person refusing to quit before the final invitation. Pause. One last time, let yourself inhabit the crossroads, not with panic, but with power. If there's a dream you've hidden, this is the sign you promised yourself you were waiting for. If there's a risk you've avoided, this is the edge you said you'd never cross unless it felt right. It will never feel right. It will only ever feel real. That's the point. This is your proof, the proof you needed that all along, you mattered enough to be tried for. That 7 taps on your door wasn't too many, wasn't a mistake, but a declaration. Your story doesn't have to end in almost. The world is built by the few who answered, not by the many who hesitated. So, do something reckless for your own good. The kind of reckless where you don't have to explain yourself, where action is the currency, where movement is the only answer. Tell the world you answered the call, not because you knew what would happen, but because you wouldn't survive knowing you let it pass untouched. As the message fades, as the day reasserts itself and the world returns to business as usual, remember how this felt. How electric it was to feel called, even for a second. How alive you felt when you recognized yourself in the message. Let it linger, let it move you, don't look for another sign. Musk won't try an 8th time. Doors close, futures shift, stories go unwritten. But not here, not for you, not if you open this, not if you make this moment yours. History is quiet in the beginning, but your answer will roar. No more missed messages. No more waiting. Open it. Immediately.